Yo, so check me out. I'm gonna cut straight to it, dog. I want to give you straight free game of how to create your most realistic vintage samples in FL Studio. You know, with waves of nostalgia, I'll be giving you mixing techniques and in-depth advice that really expanded my mind creatively when creating stuff. But let's get straight to it. All right, man, so check me out. We talking about how to make your most realistic vintage samples in FL Studio. And I want to talk about this one feeling, one of the most powerful emotions known to man that we get from these types of samples. I ain't gonna lie, everybody feels nostalgia, bro. And it's the reason that, you know, artists and people gravitate towards, you know, vintage types of stuff. And in this video, I want to show you how you can get that nostalgic feeling in your samples. And check me out, an artist that is known, if you don't know, for picking out some of the best samples is WESTSIDE GUNN. Really pushing that East Coast authentic grimy 90s sound, dog. Boom bap, hard bars and lyrics. And one of the key identifiers to his sound, dog, the samples. Looking at songs like
Roaches crawling, crack pipe on the bathroom sheet.
With tracks like Rey Mysterio.
Please, pass the folk by the seat. Bust it up, take the shit steep.
And one of my personal favorites, dog. When this joint comes on, why I do them like that?
Hey yo, piece the cat pillars. Drug dealers is healers, they try to fill us with poison.
Yes, sir. So that's gonna be the song that we covering today. So in this video, I'm gonna be dropping all the gems to creating your most realistic samples for WESTSIDE GUNN. You know, I'm really go in depth and try and drop some secrets for y'all boys. Since y'all boys really like the Griselda tutorials, been asking for more, I feel like it's only right that we cover this song, dog. Other than that, let's get into it, dog. So this is gonna be the FLP we breaking down today, dog. So I'll go ahead and preview it, you know what I'm saying? All right, so to take a deeper look into the song and get more context so we can actually have a full understanding of like how to make stuff like this, let's look at the actual sample used. As a producer, one of the first things we're listening for is gonna be tempo. And an issue that we're gonna see in this sample is that it is played very freely. Really common to see us modern producers wanting things perfectly on the grid. But in this case, there's actually so many advantages that you can get from having this type of feel to your samples. And this human feel is a key reason to why these type of samples or these beats hit the way they do. Like I said, that feeling of nostalgia, there's certain emotions that you can't take away from, you know, being a human. And as a producer, if we're able to express that in our ideas, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna give us leverage. And when you loop this jump, yo, oh my goodness, bruh, just sound like money, bro. All right, man, so this is the FLP. I just want to say shout out to my guy Navi D. He's a real one for sure, man. So me and him, we went back and forth and we collabed on a kit with a whole bunch of original ideas that sound realistic, you know, things that are not perfectly on grid, to test producer skills, man. So if y'all want a light version of this kit, it's free, you know what I'm saying, you can get a couple of them joints. But if you want to get the most and understand, you know, how to create these type of ideas, there's a full version too. So again, man, just shout out to my guy Navi D. But let's get back to it. Yeah, so for this project, I really wanted to focus on emotion. We're here to see how we can create that nostalgic feeling within our beats. And we want to make this sample sound dreamlike. For this joint, I wanted everything to flow together and really capitalize on anticipation. One of the first things that we can take into account is what instruments were used to create an idea like this. The sound selection is, if not the most important thing whenever creating ideas like this. We see strings, we see bass, and you know, the key driver of this idea, and you know, the thing that really brings it life, the piano. Now check me out, whenever approaching a sample and you want it to sound realistic, staying true to the context is key to getting your best ideas. Let the context guide you to the other instruments, the other melodies you can play. And you know, a staple fundamental used in a lot of these songs made back in the day is going to be minimalism. You know, when something is minimal, it feels complete and not overdone, which is why artists cannot stop gravitating towards these type of samples, where every decision we want to ask ourselves how we can get the most out of using less. All right, man, so check me out. The first thing that I did was I played these keys. Now, taking the same approach, I could not play that joint all in one. So what I did is I broke up the keys in multiple parts. So I'll show you all the midis and you can kind of see how each idea fits together like a puzzle piece. We're pushing the same idea. All of these notes are sustained for the most part, and we see this used in all types of music, man. These chord runs, these small details are the things that can really bring your ideas to life and give them that organic flow that all of us human beings can naturally appreciate. And a lot of the times with these things, they can't really be replicated on digital stuff, but I want to show y'all with every single video that it's not what you have, dog, but it's how you use it. There is one thing that you cannot create realistic samples without, you know, really being intentional and paying attention to: dynamics. Velocity, dynamic, you feel me? Whatever shoe fits for real. Dynamics is, if not the key reason to why these samples work. I cannot get the same sound without being intentional to my velocity. But before you cop VSTs, dog, if you get you a MIDI keyboard and a sustain pedal, you green, bro, you green. It will really make a difference in your workflow whenever creating realistic ideas. And I'll even show you an example, right? This is me with every single note at the same velocity. Like, we're gonna take this chord right here and do it, right? Same notes, but it does not flow like this. Subtle change what makes the biggest difference in your ideas. You know, music is a conversation, and with good understanding of dynamics, it's one of the things that really will define the idea and make it stand out from anything else played. Now check me out, let's take a look back at the original beat. We hear that this joint has the perfect chop, and with this sample, we want this joint that when it loops, it's going to sound better every single time. And this is crucial for any producer getting their hands on your samples. You want to offer multiple different ideas and parts that you can chop up. Even though it may look like, you know, these ideas are very simple and they're not doing a lot, it's not about what is played but the intention that it has in each pocket. And this was a breakthrough for my samples and my workflow, man. But for passing the 8-bar loop allows for so many more possibilities. And I actually made a video talking about all the key takeaways that I got from making samples like these. So if anybody watching this is creatively blocked, or even just want like a different perspective on creating things, dog, you can check out this video right here. Now, sticking to the original context, it'll help us narrow down our choices and our instruments to only the things that you know actually work. We're also able to get the most consistent ideas. All right, so the next thing that I added was this bass, man. And I'll keep saying it in every video, but I stand on it, bro. When the bass moves, you move. So when I added this bass, it really provided a good foundation for my melody and also gave it rhythm, which helped guide me to build, you know, more ideas on top of the sample that actually makes sense. All right, man, so after that, we kind of really had, you know, the idea that we wanted to push forward. And whenever I get to that point in a sample, I like to ask myself, how can we complement what we already have? So the next things that I added was just this little whirly, one of my favorite instruments when it comes to getting that nostalgic feeling. And I also added some more keys, man. It's rarely freely played, but they play well together. I want everything to feel organic, so I can show you like this little walk down right here. I also have these in a higher octave because these essentially are gonna sound like ear candy, man. Just the glitter on the sample. And like I said, it's these small things that end up getting sampled. They're very light, but they sit on top of all the other instruments. And it also adds to that dreamy feeling that we're looking for. And our samples should essentially create a story, bro. You feel me? And I could create a story in 8 bars, but that joint would not be a very good story, you know what I'm saying? But if I can create a story and surpass that 8-bar loop, there's so much more that I can add within a single idea. For something to feel nostalgic, we want to add characteristics that sound almost aged and warped. And I ended up just spamming textures, you feel me? They're not too loud. I got them sitting in the back. Just by having texture, you can have your ideas be received in a whole different manner, bros. I'm listening for room ambiance, like where I'm trying to be in a room with them essentially. The closer you are to that, the closer, you know what I'm saying, you'll get your samples to be. All right, man, so after that, I'm just asking myself, how can we add just the finishing touches to these? So when I started the video, I said one of the key things I wanted to do was capitalize on the anticipation. So for these next instruments and trying to get it to flow. So I added these strings to help these ideas flow and feel seamless. Some more ear candy, doing this little lead, some small ideas to help progress the sample to make sure it's not getting boring. And also just these small details. Later in the video, we'll see how important they are. So it's like each pattern is essentially telling its own story within this whole composition. It adds suspense, it gives color, and adds depth to the sample. The keys are the main instrument that we want to push. And music, it's almost like a team, you feel me? Every LeBron need a Kyrie, man. All right, so that's really the sample, man. It sounds very complex, but I hope with this video you can get some value out of it and see how something big and complex is really just a bunch of small decisions stacked together. All right, but on my master, first thing I got is this little compressor. I just wanted to get some volume and, you know, get some subtle compression just to bring my instruments to a more cohesive level. Next thing I got is one of my favorite go-tos, yo. You gonna see me slapping this on my stuff in like every video, but this SSL EQ. I turn this joint on and you can see the high frequencies, low mid, low frequency, and this is a high pass filter. So basically it's gonna be taking out the lows. If you hear high pass, just know it's the opposite, bro. Don't ask me why it's like that, bro. It's just, you feel me? Just know it's the opposite. I wanted to keep the low end, but I wanted just some more clarity on my sample. Next thing I did was I went ahead and I just added this little RC20 so I could warp my sample and give it, you know, those authentic things like dropouts and stuff like that. And you can kind of see the EQ down here too. I just took out some lows and I turned the width down. I did this so I could control the room and the space that this whole idea is played in. I think this is the first time I used this joint, but this is this. Second to last thing I did was I added this little Hitsville EQ just to give some more presence to my sample. And lastly, this stereo imager. You feel me? I controlled the space and then I made it wider again. All right, so now that we got the sample covered, let's go to the drums. And you know, later in the beat, I can pitch it up. I can, you know, do some other chops, do some unique stuff in there. But if you use the right techniques to create the best sample for these type of beats, you feel me? The world is your oyster, bruh. Now this shit got me feeling like I'm on a yacht.
know the Kokiana, they Benihana. I got bad bitches eating Benihana.
But yeah, that's the beat, yo. Bro, I'm gonna go ahead and arrange this jump and, you know what I'm saying, play the beat for y'all boys. I really hope I was able to give you some gems and provide some value with this video. We on a mission to inspire creatives every day to use their God-given gifts and talents to create their legacy. And if my video can help you take even a small step, a big step in that direction, that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what we doing it for. And before you scram, bro, your boy just dropped the new single, TBH out now, you feel me? Because TBH, I'm on this, yo. I've been focused, you know what I'm saying? Staying focused is key. Y'all boys stay blessed. Other than that, your boy Surge Productions, be out. Only 20% of people probably make it this far, so if you did make it this far, drop this emoji, and I know you a real one. If you need drum kits, sample packs, or even some fire music, go to Surge Productions, stream Surge if you want to be notified when your boy drop, or just stay tuned on future deals, merch, etc., new music. I'm release music. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. We're inspiring creators every day to use their God-given gifts and talents to create their legacy, because that joint will make way for you, dog. I promise you, stay true to your gifts, stay true to God. You know what I'm saying? Let him lead the way. Keep showing up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? What's in?